To undergo, in English, means to experience or to endure. To experience or to endure. To experience in English is not like in French, faire une expérience, performing an experiment, to experiment, okay? No, to experience, yes, I can hear a voice. You wanted to tell me something? To experience means to live something. Est-ce que vous avez vécu quelque chose? For example, est-ce que vous avez senti? Est-ce que vous avez vécu quelque chose? For example, you go to the doctor, you meet your doctor, and the doctor asks you, did you experience any stomach ache, for example, any headaches? Did you experience a pain in your stomach? Est-ce que vous avez senti ou vécu des douleurs à l'estomac, à la tête, headache, for example, stomach ache? Des douleurs, est-ce que vous avez vécu une mauvaise période? Did you experience any stressful situation, for example, une situation qui vous a stressé? This is to experience. Now, to endure. To endure, c'est endurer. French. Actually, it's similar in English, to endure. Do you know the meaning of endurer in French?
يتحمل.
يتحمل in Arabic. Yes, you are right. Quand vous souffrez de quelque chose, vous vivez quelque chose qui est désagréable ou difficile ou alors mauvais, quelque chose de mauvais, quelque chose de pas bien, pour une longue période, on dit vous avez enduré. Quand vous vivez cette chose 1 heure, 2 heures, c'est pas endurer, mais quand c'est lent, c'est endurer. Endurer des douleurs, par exemple. This is the meaning of to endure in English. To endure means that you're living something bad, something unpleasant, something you don't like, something I told you bad, for a long time. When it lasts for a long time, we say you endured. Vous avez subi, vous avez enduré. Okay? This is the meaning of to undergo, to experience or to endure. In French, c'est subir. Okay? When it's about humans, it means that you're suffering from something. Quand il s'agit des êtres humains, vous souffrez de quelque chose vous subissez quelque chose, vous souffrez de quelque chose. When it's about, of course, chemical compounds, quand il s'agit de composés chimiques, on dit ils subissent des réactions. It doesn't mean it's not good, it's a bad thing. Ça signifie pas que c'est une mauvaise chose. We say des composés qui subissent des transformations. Okay? Did you all understand the meaning of to undergo?
Yes.
Do you have a question? You don't?
No, Mrs.
No.
Okay. This is the definition of chemistry. I told you the science that deals with the composition, structure, and properties of substances, and with the transformations that they undergo, usually through what is called a chemical reaction. Through what is called chemical reaction. En général, à travers ce qu'on appelle une réaction chimique. Tell me, what do you know? What do you know besides the chemical reactions? Do you know only chemical reactions? What kind of reactions do you know?
Organic reactions.
Organic reactions, actually organic reactions, acid-bases reaction, redox reactions, all are chemical reactions. They are chemical reactions, you know why? Because when you have at the beginning of your reaction some chemical elements involved, impliqués. Quand vous avez au début, when you have at the beginning of your reaction some chemical elements involved in some compounds, quand vous avez des éléments chimiques impliqués qui sont dans des composés, vous les retrouvez à la fin. When you have some chemical elements at the beginning of a chemical reaction, you will find the same chemical elements at the end. Those chemical elements cannot disappear and they cannot appear. Vous pouvez pas avoir d'éléments qui vont disparaître ou des éléments qui vont apparaître. Let me give you an example. If you have during a reaction, for example, nitrogen, you have 2 moles of nitrogen. You will have at the end 2 moles of nitrogen. That nitrogen maybe will be at the beginning in a chemical compound that will be different from the product, of course. L'azote, vous avez 2 moles d'azote dans un composé chimique au début d'une réaction. Vous allez retrouver passif 2 moles d'azote à la fin de la réaction, même si le composé à la fin n'est pas celui du début. Au début, vous avez 2NH3, à la fin, vous avez N2, for example, le gaz, par exemple. But you will have nitrogen. If you have nitrogen at the beginning, you will have nitrogen at the end. If you have 2 moles of nitrogen, you will have 2 moles of nitrogen at the end. If you have 2 moles or 3 moles of oxygen at the beginning, you will have 3 moles of oxygen at the end. Do you understand? This is actually the phenomenon of the chemical reaction. C'est le phénomène, the phenomenon involved in the chemical reaction. C'est le phénomène impliqué. Vous modifiez les composés chimiques, puis vous ne modifiez pas les atomes. Okay? You make some changes on the compounds, yes. You have transformations, yes. But the chemical elements remain the same. Les éléments chimiques restent les mêmes, okay? What kind of reactions change even the elements? Change the elements themselves. Quel genre de réaction change les éléments chimiques? Vous avez au début un élément nuclear reactions can change even the element itself. For example, you have a nuclear reaction between helium and hydrogen. At the end, you won't find helium and hydrogen. You can find lithium, for example. Helium, hydrogen, you will find lithium. Lithium did not exist at the beginning. You formed lithium, okay? And hydrogen and helium do not exist anymore. Both got transformed into lithium. This is the difference between the chemical and the nuclear reactions, okay? Of course, there are some other huge differences. The main one, il y a aussi de très grandes différences. La différence majeure, en plus de celle que je vous ai dite, besides the one that I told you, is of course the quantity, the huge amount of energy that's released. En plus de la quantité immense, géante d'énergie qui est libérée, sometimes of course. Okay? Parfois. This here we are talking about chemical reactions, of course, but I wanted to remind you that don't forget that when the physical state of a compound changes, it is not what we call a chemical reaction. Quand l'état physique d'un composé change, ce n'est pas une réaction chimique. Okay? C'est un changement physique. Allow me to give you an example. If, for example, water is ice, when water is ice, when it melts, it becomes liquid. Is it a chemical reaction?
No.
It is not a chemical reaction because the physical state of water changed. Don't forget that it's not called a chemical reaction. Okay? This is for you as chemists. Don't forget that we are studying English, but we are studying chemistry also in English. What about laboratory? We gave the definition of chemistry. What about a laboratory? I mean, we can say lab, but the good pronunciation of this word is laboratory. What about laboratory? Can you think about the definition of laboratory? What is a laboratory?
Where we practice.
It's a place. We start by saying what it is. It's a place. Thank you. Where? Yes, a place where
we do experiments.
Experiments. Thank you. Yes, it's a place where we can perform. Listen, guys. We say, I will write it in the Mr. section. Okay. Listen to me. We say where we perform. To perform is to perform, c'est effectuer. We performed some experiments, or we conducted. To conduct, c'est mener. We conducted the study. We conducted an investigation. Mener. They are similar to each other. To perform, to conduct, and both can be used a lot by chemists. You may use them a lot. I performed an experiment. I performed a study. J'ai effectué une expérience ou une étude. Mener une expérience, I conducted. Okay?
Madam.
Tell me. I'm listening, Yasmin.
It's not performer in French.
C'est effectué. Performer. I don't know this verb in French, Yasmin, but I can look. Maybe performer. I don't know if it exists in French, perform. Okay, but I
Ça
can
existe,
actually
oui.
check right now. Ah, ça existe, perform. I know performance. Performer is not something that I know, sorry. I can check right now. Dictionnaire, I don't know it, sorry. I know that to perform, c'est effectuer. No, performer. I can see it in English, but can't see. Yes, performer. I can see it in French. Je le trouve pas en français, okay? But I can look maybe later. It's a good thing to check. It's a good thing because we don't know everything, of course. I can find it in English, of course. For example, to perform here in a dictionary that I like a lot, which is Merriam-Webster. It's a dictionary that I like a lot, I use a lot. For Merriam-Webster, for example, to perform means to fulfill, to carry out, to do, to carry out, to give, to play, okay, to act. C'est effectuer quelque chose, okay? Faire quelque chose, effectuer quelque chose. In chemistry, we say to perform a study, to perform an experiment. C'est effectuer. Okay? Here I can look for to conduct in this dictionary that I like a lot to conduct. Here for Merriam-Webster, to direct, to take part, to conduct, to cause, to act, to behave, to bring, to bring by us by leading, to guide. Okay, it is not what we use in chemistry here, to conduct herself, to conduct tourists, metal conduct, conduire. Okay, I will look for performer in French, if it exists or not, and what is the meaning, what is its meaning. Thank you. Let's go back to our lesson. What about the laboratory? It's a place where, sorry, can you repeat, please?
Where we practice our experience. Where we do
experiment. Yes, where we do or conduct our experiments, where we perform our experiments. Thank you, yes. Look at the definition I found. Laboratory is a place providing opportunity for experimentation, observation, or practice. C'est un endroit providing opportunity. To provide, c'est qui apporte. To provide, qui apporte. That bring, to provide, it provides, it brings. Ça vous apporte, c'est un endroit qui vous apporte, qui vous donne la possibilité, qui vous donne l'opportunité pour l'expérimentation, experimentation, observation and or practice. C'est un endroit qui vous permet, qui vous donne la possibilité ou l'opportunité de faire de l'expérimentation, de l'observation ou de la pratique. Experimentation is something that you all know. Chemists, especially when we do research, when we are conducting our research, we make experimentation, okay, experimentations. But sometimes it's about observation. For example, for the chemistry of space, or maybe, no, not chemistry of space. When some scientists study space, they have to make some observations of the stars, of the planets, and things like that, and so on. The practice now, as students, chemistry students, you have to study, you have to do some practical courses. You have to attend, you have to work in a lab to do practical courses. Vous devez faire des travaux pratiques, des TP. Où est-ce qu'ils se font ces TP? Ils se font dans un laboratoire. Where do the practical courses take place? They take place in a laboratory. Do you understand? Est-ce que vous comprenez? Did you all understand this? Did you all understand this definition? Or a place equipped, un endroit équipé, a place equipped for experimental study in a science or for testing and analysis. C'est un endroit équipé pour une étude expérimentale en sciences or for testing. Yes, sometimes we have a laboratory just for testing. I told you, as for example, some chemists have to test the concentration and the composition of the drugs, the medications. Il y a des chimistes qui sont qui doivent vérifier, they have to check, qui doivent vérifier la composition et la concentration des médicaments, for example. And that lab is not, actually that laboratory is not dedicated to research. C'est un laboratoire qui n'est pas dédié à la recherche, but it is a laboratory dedicated to testing. OK? C'est un laboratoire qui est dédié aux tests. Des médicaments, par exemple, for medication, testing medication. For analysis, yes, sometimes we have laboratory. For example, for mathematics, the scientists have to do to analyze data, for example. They do analysis. Ils font des analyses. For example, this is a sentence containing a laboratory. Experiments conducted in a modern laboratory. Des expériences conduites dans un laboratoire moderne. Okay, experiments conducted in a modern laboratory. Okay? Who wants to read this definition of a laboratory?
Okay, chemistry, the science that deals with the composition, structure and properties of substances, and with the transformation that they undergo, usually through what is called a chemical reaction.
Yes, please keep reading to undergo this synonyms.
Okay, to undergo, to experience, to endure, to undergo, subir.
In French, thank you very much. Lubna, what's your family name?
Judy.
Excuse me?
Judy.
Ah, yes, Judy. Beautiful, yes. A beautiful family name. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, I asked. You're welcome. Thank you. I asked Rasha and Ayub after Rasha. Rasha, what's your family name? Is Hamash?
Yes, miss. Hamash.
Okay. And Aisha, Rafiqa, and Fatima. And what about the boy? I can't remember the first name of your classmate, the boy. Ayub. I will find it later, inshallah. Ayub, sorry, Ayub. Ayub will read after you. Please go ahead. After you two.
A place providing opportunity for experimentation, observation, or practice, or a place equipped for experimental study in science or for testing and analysis. Example, experiments
yes.
conducted in a modern laboratory.
Thank you very much. Ayub, please read the definition of chemistry.
Chemistry, the science that deals with the composition, structure, and properties of substance and with the transformations that they undergo, usually products like chemical or chemical reaction. To undergo, to experience, to undergo.
Thank you. Yes, to endure a chemical reaction. Thank you. Ayub, what's your family name, Ayub? Let me check.
Raki. R-A-K-I.
K? Excuse me?
R-A-K-I.
Please write it because I heard lake. I heard lake. Please write it. I can't hear you. Sorry. Can you tell me write
Raki,
it?
madam.
Okay. I asked. Raki?
Yes.
Raki?
R-A-K-I.
Raki. R-A-K-I. Thank you. Aisha and Rasha, you read, I think? Rasha read, yes. Aisha and Rafiqa, and your classmates after. Okay. Definition of laboratory, please.
Laboratory, a place providing opportunity for experimentation, observation, or practice, or place equipped for experimental study in science or testing and analysis. Example, experiments conducted in modern laboratory.
Experiment conducted in a modern laboratory. Thank you. This was Aisha, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Aisha Tabakh. Okay. Now for
Miss.
chemistry, it will be Rafiqa and Ahlam. Rafiqa and
Yes,
Ahlam
miss.
after. Please.
Chemistry is that deals with the composition, structure, and the property of substance and with the transformation that they undergo, usually through what is called a chemical reaction, to undergo, to experience, to endure, to undergo, subir.
Yes, chemical reaction. Don't forget, chemical. It's a K.
Okay, miss.
Yes, thank you. Ahlam, you're welcome. Ahlam.